This is what I was taught when I was young from my parents. I didn't realize how much my parents were really a big asset. It was earn, save, and spend. And whatever you want in life, you can have anything you want. You just have to know what you want and how you're going to get there to get what you want.
Hey there, and welcome to Money and You. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host. My search for more fulfilling work led me to career and business coaching, where I stumbled upon a game-changing discovery. Money issues often start with our mindset and habits. You see, our relationship with money is the key to overcoming those frustrating financial obstacles. As an entrepreneur, coach, and problem solver, I'm passionate about helping you create a great relationship with money. Because, turns out, that's the foundation for a limit-free life. Each week on Money and You, I speak with amazing guests about all things money, mindset, practical tips, and everything in between. We're here to give you new insights, education, and empowerment so money can be one of your favorite relationships. So join us for some lively conversations and let's transform your financial life together. And welcome to another wonderful episode of the Money and You Show. I am so excited that you're here. I have such a wonderful guest. I just can't wait to introduce her to you all. And she and I are very aligned on the way we think about your relationship with money, help people with that. And I think you're going to get a tremendous amount of information and new insights and new awarenesses from our guest today, who is Monique Gagné, or they like to call her the Money Mom. And Monique Gagné is a dynamic force in the world of financial empowerment, known for inspiring thousands of families to take control of their money and live their dreams. Transitioning from a successful career in fashion design and IT, Monique discovered her true passion as a mortgage agent and financial coach. She's a best-selling author of Who Took My Money? And the creator of The Power of Financial Happiness, a transformative course that has changed countless lives. Monique's unique journey includes working alongside industry icons like Bill Gates as a certified IT trainer and evolving into a trusted financial educator. Over the years, she has seen how quickly money can take flight, leaving behind deferred dreams and missed opportunities. And as a mortgage agent, dedicated to herself helping families from first-time homebuyers to high earners find financial balance and freedom. A sought-after speaker and media guest, Monique has a gift for connecting with audiences through her relatable, educational, and engaging style. She's also a champion for the next generation, recently authoring the children's book Alex's Dream with Money to spark financial literacy in young minds. Beyond her professional achievements, Monique is a passionate community leader. She spearheaded the Bear Largest Hug initiative, including 19 high schools in the Ottawa region, to raise substantial funds for cancer care. She continues to serve on educational advisory committees, sharing her wisdom and commitment to making a difference. And with that, I want to bring Monique into the studio to talk about all things relationship with money. So welcome, Monique. So happy to have you here.
I'm really happy to be with you, Michelle.
Yeah, this is a treat because we spoke on the phone and we've never met before, but I think, instantly connected on this topic, and just we are both doing very similar work with people.
Exactly.
And I just
We're so far apart and so close today.
yeah, exactly. And yes, Monique is in Canada, and she is just so well versed in this. So I think as soon as we got to know one another, even for a very short conversation, we knew this would be a great show. So Monique, why don't we have a little of your background? We read your bio, but in your own words, like what brought you to this place where you're interested in this topic?
Actually, it was after a few times of looking at how people struggle with money because they don't understand. And for me, when I was actually in IT, my last project was to develop a software for the leave without pay for the government. And when I deployed this, people they didn't understand how to do a budget. It was like numbers, but numbers doesn't always equal to the response that you're looking for. Meaning that what people don't understand is if you keep spending before earning, there is consequences. There's nothing wrong. Money is meant to be spent, I think, but it meant to be spent in the proper order, which means you need to earn it before you spend it. Otherwise, there's consequences, and you will have you won't have as much with the same money. So basically, that's what brought me there.
Yeah, thank you. And it's a logical kind of obvious statement, and yet we live in the opposite way.
Yeah,
So which
exactly.
there are many things like that, but I think money has a lot of them where what we need to do is simple, and when you hear someone like yourself say that, it's like, well, of course, and yet we're not doing it.
No,
So
it's simple. It's three words. I teach. I said if you can remember three words and in the right order: earn, save, and spend. And spent is okay, but people think, oh, I can't spend. No, money is meant to be spent, but you need to earn it before, and you need to save for what you want and make sure to know what you want. Most people they don't even know what they want, and because of that they get they get into a cycle of what I call the dream stealers. They take, they make you think you want this, you need this, and at the end of the day you look at this and you say, why did I get this? Why do I want this? For example, you want a watch. Well, a watch, a $500 watch or a $50 watch is the same thing, right? It will give you the time at the end of the day. There's no right or wrong which one you want. It's just, does it fit with your needs and what you want? That's all.
yeah, that is really interesting. And I loved what you said about us not knowing what we want, which leads to a lot of overspending. Because when you don't know what you want or what you need, then you're just sort of buying things, hoping that that's going to make you feel a certain way. It usually comes down to wanting to feel something more than
The
actually
emotion,
needing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's exactly it. We get we're a bubble of emotions. Either their emotions are positive or negative. We are emotions, and if we can handle our negative emotions, because often people spend on things they don't want when they're in a negative emotion because they want to feel better, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, what does it equal for? It's you feel twice as bad as opposed to feeling better, or
Yeah.
feeling better for a very short period of time. I
Yes.
actually like your dating concept because I do pretty much the same. I think it makes sense. For me, I tell people I actually love money. And people go, you love money? Yes, I do. I love my money because what does it mean when you love money? It means you respect and you take care of it. When you love something, that's what it is. So that's why you should love your money. So dating your money makes sense.
Thank you. I'm happy that you get it. It's a sort of, a lot of people are just like, I don't know what that is. So that's why I started taking
Exactly.
people on these dates myself, so I could show them this is what you do on
Yes,
your money date.
yes,
But
yes. Money makes so much sense to me.
yes, and it's not just paying bills. There's a lot more to it. Um,
Exactly.
but you're exactly right, and that was where kind of the concept was born from, is how do you develop this love for money? Because most of us are walking around scared of it, upset with it, avoidant. That's the biggest one, I think, is I know I should be better with money. I'll someday, and you've got children, you've got grandchildren. I think
Mhm.
women are so great with their relationships, and they put so much into them, and they're so nurturing, and they're so, but money is not seen as a relationship. It's not put in that category. So we don't treat it like we do, the people in our life. But if we tried to adapt that and think about, the people in your life you care about, you pay attention to them, you spend time with them, you get to know them, you want to understand them. If you apply it to money, you know.
And you know what? Money is so important because, and we have to understand the word money. The word, what does it mean? Well, money is is value, anything that you put value. So this is why I put love and money together, because it's so important to respect both and the relationship between. So I created a little character. If you look, if you can see it here,
So
you
cute.
see my little character. It's my little money pouch that goes with my children's book. And to me, when the children sees this and it gives them a concept and they make it fun, it has a purpose. Because I don't know for you in school if you were good in school, but for me, 2 plus 2, I didn't care, but I wanted something that made sense, like 2 pencils and 2 erasers. That made sense for me, and I can calculate those. You know what I mean? And I think teaching children in that concept with fun and activities makes they will remember much better.
That's so true. And I think if, unfortunately here at least we don't teach anything about money in school, but once in a while there'll be a teacher or a program in a school and the kids at a very young age will get very into it. And not in a weird way like greed. It's just interesting and it's part of our life and they jump in and apply the concepts pretty quickly.
Yes, and it should not be greed, because I even taught with my little book that you saw. I actually went to a preschool with this just before for Christmas time, and of course they can't associate everything, but we had little dollar bill with numbers on it, and we had little toys, and the dollar bill matched the toys. So they had to go and, oh, I have a $5 bill. Oh, that goes with the five onto the toy. So they matched it. And they had so much fun doing this. And for them, and they were like 2-year-old, 3-year-old children.
Wow.
And for them, it had the purpose, right? The
Yeah.
number. So
Yeah.
they associated the number on the dollar bill to the toy.
Yeah,
So
very clever. And again, simple, but the reality is money is fairly simple. We've created this idea in our head that it's complicated and there's so much math in it. And I
And it's
mean,
not. It's so easy, and we can have so much fun with it. And the thing is, when to remember that money is meant to be spent, but it's also meant to be shared.
mm,
When you have enough, why not share with the others? And when you share, you have no idea. And in the little book, that's what I put in there, is the little boy is sharing a portion of his toys with some other children, and the joy you feel inside when you share and when you give, and it tells your mind also, I have enough, so I'm good.
hmm,
So all of this makes you into a positive gratitude concept. So you feel good about yourself. Life is much better. You go on, and everybody says, "Oh, this person is so happy." Yes, because they have no money problem. Why don't they have money problem? Because they understand and they have the relationship with their money. So they
hmm,
have date
yeah.
with their money every Friday.
I love that. And I love that you brought up gratitude. One of the true keys to, attracting more money into your life and just being
It
content
is.
and feeling good about where you're at. Because some of the, you know, a lot of the stress it boils down to the thoughts we're thinking about where this might go, how your life might go for the better or worse when you think about your money. We really project it out and scare ourselves, frankly.
The worst is when people are doing a budget, or well, they're trying to do a budget, is and with not understanding really, is they put numbers on, and the numbers that they put for their income is probably something that is in the future, what not what is.
Hmm.
So I'm going to be making so much money. And often what I see is, especially people that works into government, for example, or that has a gross pay, they will put their gross pay there, but forget to to remove. So it's not the net. Well, you can't spend gross because there's a shortfall there.
Hmm.
And I see this so often. So if you keep spending what's not really there, at one point, there's an impact again.
Right.
Credit card is the worst because although we have, for some reason, respect more value to a piece of paper, which has a number on it, which is dollar bills, right? We had put values on this, but on our credit card, we haven't because you can be so people tend to spend more because they use their credit card. So if you're not cautious, I tell, if you have a little problem with managing this, well, there's little tips and tricks we can use to make sure that you you understand before. And we're human. I do the
Hmm.
same. We
Hmm.
spend more with our credit card, whether we want or not, when we go to the store, right?
Right, right, absolutely. That's universal, and it's designed that way. I mean,
Yes.
that's not an accident that everybody's offering you a credit card because they know. Um,
Exactly. We became slave to our bank.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of psychology around money
Yes.
that the
Yes.
institutions all know. They're using it to get us to do certain things, and yet if we don't learn it too, we'll be taken advantage of, basically. So.
Exactly what I say. Start to think like a bank.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, and I love what you're saying because again, the concepts that you're bringing up are simple, and I know people want to gloss over these fundamentals. They're like, I'm ready to. They get a job and then they want to invest or they want to think about buying a house, and yet they don't know how to manage these things. They don't even know some of the language that you're bringing up, what these things mean. Even your gross pay versus your net pay.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of just basic understanding that people need because as they progress and expand and move forward, things are going to get a little more complicated. And if you've sort of missed the fundamentals, it's very easy to find yourself in trouble.
And you know what? One thing that I do with my couples, especially my families,
Mm-hmm.
and is I tell them, okay, let's do it as a business. You always wanted to have a business, let's say. Well, let's pretend you have your own business and you're the CEO of the business, and then you have your vice president, and the kids are the employees, for example. Well, you have to share everything together. You have to look at things together and make choices. And, the one that succeeds are the one that invest in their business. Do you understand what I'm saying to you now?
Mm-hmm.
Is as a family, I tell them the same. You invest in yourself, you invest in your family, and don't let others steal your dreams. You together do this. And by doing it, like it's so easy. And people say, I didn't know that was so easy. And especially people that are well educated. Because, of course, if we're well educated, we have to be smart with money because we know it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's a very interesting point because I think the more well-educated folks are a little more uncomfortable exposing the fact that they maybe don't know some things, so they just keep pretending, like you say, that, I have an education as if that's like automatically a money education, which it's not.
and exactly, and the education they have, they nor very often have a loan associated to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes a huge loan. And when it comes to it, oh well, I'm going to make so much money. Years ago, we encountered. I had a surgeon, a very very popular surgeon in Canada, that actually did had to file for bankruptcy. Could
Yeah,
you?
and that's something people don't realize. I see that a lot too with doctors, dentists, people who and I've worked with them personally. There's this level of I'm a doctor, so I should be able to whatever, buy the sports car, buy the bigger house. There's a disconnect between the actual, financial situation and what they're thinking should be possible now that they are working.
And it's okay. It's just that they're doing it at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you do it in the right order, and this is what I was taught when I was young from my parents. I didn't realize how much my parents were really a big asset. It was earn, save, and spend. And whatever you want in life, you can have anything you want. You just have to know what you want and how you're going to get there to get what you want. But
Mm-hmm.
you can't get something that if you borrow the money, it's not yours. You
Right.
still have to repay this. And if you do it in the right order, you earn first, you save for what you want, and then you pay. It makes a whole lot more sense because imagine going on a vacation fully paid for
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
go for two vacation for the price of one.
Yeah, it's true. And I feel like in a way, and I don't know if you're feeling like this, like the concept of savings is coming back. It went away for a few decades, and people were drastically overspending. But I feel like the younger people, and I don't like where it comes from because I think it's very fear based is why they're saving, because things look so expensive out there and they can't imagine, and they're afraid to spend. But I love that order, and I think I I I feel like once you've done it, when you experience saving and you experience having your tires blow out and you have the money in the bank to get the four new tires or whatever, I mean, it's very reinforcing of the value there. But I think for a long time, maybe it was that the economy was so sort of felt stable and good for a while, and people were not feeling like they needed to save actually.
Well, I don't think it was that it was so good. I think it was a little bubble that was
Mm-hmm.
not really real. Because if you look at 20 years ago, look at most cost of things, look at a computer, look at even food, look
Mm-hmm.
at the difference in cost of food for the essentials. There's not that much of a difference according to what your pay is today as opposed to what it was 20 years ago.
Right.
So when you look at this, it's not quite the exact information. It's just, yes, it is more expensive, but we do have other income. But when you look at where are the expenses that cost, going to Starbucks every morning to before you go to work, spending, having all of the subscription. How
I
many
yeah.
people have subscription? Like this is one of my major when
Yeah.
I help a family is look at their subscription. That is usually number one where we cut a lot. And and most of the time you can't use them all. You only have 24 hours in a day.
That's right. I know. I have to, I'm going to be honest, I have to go through mine again because you get rid of them and then you sign up for new ones. And it's this, constant thing that needs.
It's the way we are, and it's okay where we spend it, but if we, and it's okay to get anything we want if we have it in the right order, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And because that's the way I was taught, and when I was a child, and that's how I want to actually show children the concept of saving before earning. And saving doesn't mean they have to understand why they save. Why would I want to put money away? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a reason. Oh, well, you want to have this. Let's look at how you're going to have this. And then there's a reason. So I make them do a little dream or vision board. So they put
Right.
it on the board. And then oh, now I have enough money. I know how much it costs. We make the exercise. We go through the whole system. And once they have the money, they find ways to have the money. And then imagine the joy that you have when you go and buy this. I have a little story to tell you about this. When I was doing my first book, who took my money in 2008, my editor, he never had cash, never worked with cash. But when he was doing all the editing and everything, one day I came to his office and he had a camera in front. And he said, "Do you like my camera?" And I said, "Oh, yes, that's fine." And he says, "Monique, I've got to tell you, for the first time in my life, I bought something that I'm so proud of that I wanted, but with cash that I had saved in this little piggy bank
Oh,
here."
wow. Oh, I love that. That's great. Well, okay,
just by
Monique.
typing it,
I know. It is a good feeling. And
Yes, it was.
yeah. We're such creatures of habit. So we can get pretty
All right.
comfortable using credit cards for everything and being in debt for trips, for cameras, for whatever, because it's just become a pattern. So we lose the feeling of uncomfortableness to some point. I mean, things get to a level where there's a new level of discomfort potentially, but we can get comfortable with doing things the wrong way as well.
Yes, we can because we're told it's okay.
Yeah.
We're told it's fine, you know? Or the opposite. Sometimes what I see is the fear of not enough.
Yeah.
I'm always wanting more, more, more. And I was working with one of my couple last week, and they didn't know how they were going to do retirement. So we went over the entire cycle. We looked at what they have, what they could, what they didn't need, and finally to end up showing them that their net is actually bottom line. They were millionaires.
Oh, wow.
Millionaires. Wow. So, they had little money here, little money there. The house was almost fully paid. So by the time, so in 3 years, when they retired, they would have more than enough and even more left at each month than they do now.
And why didn't they already know this? What were they not doing so they didn't even know their own net worth, for example?
Because they never took the time of taking all the papers they had everywhere and what they had as assets. You have furniture, you have this, you have this. It's value, it's money. What you own. And if you own it and not the bank, well, this is where you can count as your assets. And funny thing, Michelle, is people told, because in my little book, I show asset and liabilities to 8 to 12-year-old. And my editor says, you can't teach this to kids. I said, a word is a word. Once they understand what the word means,
Yeah.
they will they will
Yeah.
make good with it. Why not teach them when they're young? Because we got a better chance for them to do better with it, right?
Right, right. And I mean that's a great example too because so much of what we learn about money we learn out of making mistakes. That's our method of financial education, at least here, is go out and overspend on the credit card and then learn what that means, and then how much interest do you really actually pay and, what fees you incur. That's not the way we should be learning. So,
But it's okay if you do it once, but
yeah.
at least learn. No, learn from it. For me, like my book, you saw my book, like Who Took My Money.
Yes.
It's actually my life story. It's actually how my father taught my son how money works, actually. And
Oh.
it's funny because in this it happens in the family garage, and there it's a conversation between the grandfather and the grandson, and so sometimes you fall off the track. You go on, you take the GPS, fall off the track because it wasn't. That's fine. Just get back on track. That's what you have to do. If you see that you haven't done what you said you were, and you have one thing I learned from my mentors is take 100% responsibility for your action. You did a mistake, honor it, and learn from it, and just go. And that's how we learn. But it has to be for you. Nobody else can decide for you. If you let people decide for you, you let them handle your money, you don't have a good relationship with money, well, just
Hmm.
and then you can blame and emotions do not are not really positive when you feel this way. But if you take care and you understand that you have a good relationship from a very young age with your money, life is so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And you can develop that relationship if you because
Yes.
most of us don't really think about that relationship. We don't have a strong awareness of it. And so for some people, if they don't get that enlightenment until they're 50 or whatever, that's their situation, but they can create that relationship at any point. So,
And Do you see how simple I just spoke to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like we just spoke about it very, very simply about everything in a simple, simple way.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it's by purpose because people have to understand it is simple to take care of your money.
Yeah.
And it's just have a good relationship, love your money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. If you love your money, you'll respect and take care of it from a young age. Show that it's okay to children to love their money because they need to respect it. And the value that is there, their money, is to make things that they want. They have to choose what they want with it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it is so interesting because when you came on initially and you said that about loving your money, you sort of made a face because that's what people, people are sort of
They go, "Ooh."
still in this day and age are sort of horrified when somebody says that,
Yes,
which there's so much past messaging around that has created guilt in us even today.
yes,
But we need to completely reframe how we look at the whole thing.
exactly.
And it's funny because those same people talking throughout the years about, oh, you can't love money, are out there their whole life trying to create wealth and a
Big
future.
love.
So it doesn't make any sense, really.
And often these people don't know when they have enough
Yes.
because
Oh my gosh, yes.
having enough is important because
Yes.
you're not going to bring it to your grave. So when you have enough for yourself, why don't share it and share it with people that needs it? And if you were gifted to know something and be able to do well, why you should actually share it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I believe in giving back. So, and it makes imagine when you give back, it makes so much. There's so much. There's a reason why wealthy people that are happy. And one of my best mentor was definitely Warren Buffett. And if you look at him, he's a happy person. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because he understands his relationship with money, and
Right.
he is a very high philanthropist.
Yes, you're so right, and it, I've been doing this work around defining um, your own abundance. What is your definition of abundance? Because it's so personal, and
It is.
everybody's
It is.
is different. And if you part of having that relationship with money is to define it. We define our other relationships, and their roles and how they fit into our life. So it's really important. Like you said, people don't know what they want. People will say, "Oh, I want to be rich or I want to be abundant," but they don't.
What
What is that for you? Because it's not the same as everybody else, and it shouldn't be. When you try to copy somebody else's definition of abundance, that doesn't work well. But
No, it doesn't know because it's on. You need a mentor. I believe you need a mentor. You look at someone that did or succeed at what you did. And I was lucky that my parents did teach me. And did you know a secret that everybody that actually earns a decent pay, which actually even the a very I would say the average pay, an average pay, everyone actually can become a millionaire by the time they retire with just putting $500 away the very first time and then putting away every month only $100 a month away for the rest of their life. They can definitely become a millionaire and more.
yeah, I
If
sadly
that's
I
what you
never
want.
heard people talk about that until I was way past the age. But yeah, I look at young people today, and it's like this wouldn't have been hard. I mean, it's hard when you get to be an older age and it's 1,500 a month that you need to put away or whatever it is. But when it's a hundred
Mhm.
dollars a month, especially in today's world, that is so doable.
You know what I get the grandparents to do? When I have grandparents that has some money, I get them, okay, when your next child or at the age they are, I make a little fund, a fund for your children, your child. So I make them put away $500 in the fund
Mm-hmm.
and $50 every month
Mm.
in the fund. And at Christmas time, what they do is they give them a nice card with how much money there's in the account, how much money they actually made with the interest compounding. And imagine what it does that every Christmas, the grandparents are giving this to to their children
Yeah, that's
and make
fantastic.
them understand that. And that's how I got to do my children's book, by the way, is last Christmas in 2023, I didn't know what to give my grandchildren. So I decided to make them each a little book with their name in it and created the little pouch, of course, and gave them this. And every month I'm actually giving them $25 and they have to they have to save a portion, 20% of it, and then the rest goes into their little money pouch for what their dreams are. So we do a little dream board, and at the end, whenever they have the money into their account, we go together, we go do the shopping
Oh,
together.
I love it. And actually, doing the dream board is a good way to kind of,
Hmm,
get more specific about what it is you want. It forces you in a fun way to think about what do I really want? Because there's
exactly.
the options out there are infinite. You have to choose, where you're going to put your focus.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
And I don't know if you know Mary Diamond. She's a feng shui
Yes, yes, I do. From
and she says your home is actually your dream board. So make sure that your
ah,
home has exactly what you want because it is your dream board. And I love this concept.
I love that too. Oof, yeah, that's fantastic. So let's just talk about saving for a minute because there are a lot of people who, I'm talking to them about saving, and the response is typically, "Oh, there's no money left to save." So,
Mhm.
do you hear that at all?
All the time.
Okay. So, what is your answer to that?
And I actually just recently, 2 weeks ago, one of my good lawyers, because also a mortgage broker, one of my good lawyers said, okay, you gotta show me. Actually, she came. We looked at her asset because 2 years ago she came to see me and she says, "I can't save money. I don't have. There's nothing left. Although I make a good income, there's nothing left." So
Right.
we looked at the budget. So let's do one simple little thing. Don't change anything else. Just change that one thing. She says, "What? Going to Starbucks every day. How much do you like your coffee?" Well, I don't really like coffee that much, she says. So then we actually cut the coffee for going to Starbucks. She actually started to program her coffee machine, took her coffee in the morning and went to work. And she was to go to Starbucks only on Fridays. Well, after a short period of time, and putting every time she'd not go to Starbucks, that money that she was spending to Starbucks, she had to put it away. She had to put it away. In 2 years, okay, doing this, and at the end, she didn't even need to go to Starbucks,
Mm.
is she was able to save because she was able to save 20 something thousand dollars
Wow.
with the income that because she had put the money away, okay, in a good investment. And she actually, it encouraged her so much that she actually doubled. So in 2 years that she was not able to put any money away, just one simple action brought her to save $20,000.
Yeah. Oh, I love the simplicity of it. And I love, finding the options. There's always a solution to a problem.
And you can't sacrifice it as soon as you feel that this is why people are not doing budget, Michelle, is because they're doing a budget like a diet.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
not doing it for healthy purpose. They're doing it because they're sacrificing themselves. Sometimes you have to because they're way beyond and they have to do a little diet at the beginning.
Right. Right.
Most of the time we can handle not sacrificing your whole life and looking at it the proper way. But imagine if we teach the children at a young age, they won't have to sacrifice anything. They will
Mhm.
understand and they will only have twice as much if we teach them well.
Yes, and what people don't know because they do think of savings that way. Saving is like having to diet. It's a great analogy that you brought up. And
Mhm.
my daughter, I think I said this on another show, but recently started saving more. And she actually was like, I don't know why people don't save more. It's fun. Like, I feel really good. I'm watching this money accumulate. And she's right. It's all mindset, of course, all the time.
Yep.
So if you think of saving as, you're losing your freedom or you're not able to enjoy your life versus looking at it like this is creating something where I can enjoy my life more.
But it's choices.
It's
Like
choices.
lately, I had one of my young renters. They wanted to go see a show, a very expensive show. It was $1,500. And I said, "Do you really want to go see that show?" And they said, "Well, yes, it's very important." I said, "Let's do it this way. You also want to go to Paris this summer, right?" "Yes." "Where are you going to get the money for the?" "Oh, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe we can have our parents." "Oh, let's do it this way." So instead, they got the two sisters got their friends, and there were eight of them. They went and saw the show on TV. They got people to bring popcorn, and they did a night, and they had so much fun. And with the money they saved, the 1,500, they went backpacking into Paris for 3 weeks, and they came back, some of them with a little bit of money left.
Wow.
So
You
all
know,
paid. See? So
yeah.
no, so the other way, what would have happened? They would have went into that before even earning,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the cycle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And then
Imagine
all you're
the
doing is
difference
chasing.
between,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the difference in your mindset, the difference in your emotions is from one action to the other.
Yeah.
It's all about choices, making the right choice that fits for you so you can be happy at the end of the day.
And you bring up such a great point, and sadly, we're going to have to end on this, but it's such a circle back because your choices, if you can become very, very aware of your choices, and it's everything. I mean, if you have a day that is very intentional and you're thinking through everything going on and you make clear choices in your own mind and you act on those choices, you feel really good. When you act out of your kind of automatic patterns that you've had and you just do things without intention and without really clearly making that choice, so much of what we do is just automatic,
Yeah.
we're programmed.
Habits.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you always feel a little out of control on those days, and if money's involved, you feel really out of control.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that is one. If nothing else, if all you do is spend your day being really aware of the choices you're making throughout the day and making sure they're the best ones that you can make in that situation, it's a different ballgame.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I'd like, if you say, I'd like to invite you to join me and collaborate, because I'm actually opening the Love Money School, and I'm inviting especially grandparents to join us to be able to teach the next generation the right mindset and the right foundation for them
Ah,
about money. 'Cause their life will be so much better.
I love that you're starting with children. I mean, that is so, so smart. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. And before we end here, please let people know again about your books, how to find them, and find you.
Yes, actually, there's the website. Well, I'm on YouTube, the Facebook, but my website is my name, moniquegagné.com, and you can find all kinds of information, and you will have access also to the Love Money School.
Wonderful. Okay. Well,
Yes.
Monique, thank you. This was so lovely to meet you and get to know you better. And I think what you're bringing to the world is so beautiful, from the practical part to the just message out there, that it's okay to love your money and I love your sort of emotional energy around this. It's really what I hope more people can have around money.
And you know what? Money should be fun. You should, the children asked to see not as a sacrifice, but making relationship with their money a fun way, and being creative. is so important. If they want something, let's create something so you can have this,
Yeah.
and really, really understand that you can have everything you want as long as you know what you want and how to get it.
Yeah, thank you. You're really helping children create an abundant mindset, which is not the way we typically raise our children, to be honest. So that's
Don't spend before
amazing.
you earn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Monique, again, thank you so much for joining us today. I think this was a wonderful conversation. And audience, thank you for being here listening. And yeah, I hope you'll take this in and work on reframing how you feel and think about money. This is a great, I think Monique is a great teacher of that, and so important. Just imagine your life with less money stress and more enjoyment of money. It's crazy how that would change your whole life. So yes, and thank you for listening to the Money and You show. We love having you listening to our shows. And please, if you enjoyed it, share it with people who could benefit, and also subscribe either on YouTube or on one of the podcast platforms, and rate and review the show. That really helps us out. And yeah, thank you so much. And you can always reach me at limitfreelife.com. Find out when the next money dating program is. We do have one coming up very soon, and I would love to see you there. So thank you. We'll see you next week.